Good morning. Good morning, Alice. Welcome. Welcome to our Connecting Consciousness special member spotlight. It's so terrific to have people like you in Connecting Consciousness, Illinois. For those joining us, this is Connecting Consciousness. It's the Simon Parks Group, and that is a worldwide network of like-minded people. And we have this terrific group of almost 2,000 people, 2,000 members here in Illinois. And Alice is going to speak to us today about astrology and these different timelines and what the moon nodes are telling us. And Alice, you're from my hometown in Rockford, Illinois. So it's a special pleasure to welcome you today. Welcome, Alice.
Thank you. And thank you for having me.
So I see the sun is shining, so that's good. That's a good start to the program.
It is. And if you've noticed, when we don't have the clouds and the chemtrails, the sun is very bright. And this is because it is so close to Earth. Actually, 25,900 years, this happens, 26,000. It's almost like God's way of saying, it's time to wake up. It's time to go into the light. I just love this. And anyone I mentioned it to about the sun being so bright, they all recognize that. So it's time to wake up. And also the brightness of the sun helps heal our pineal gland, which tends to be all cluttered up and calcified. And so this bright sun just helps us. And if you note, the man-made clouds are there to hamper the sun from waking our pineal gland up.
Interesting, Alice.
Also lately,
sorry about that.
Back there, I just saw this slide a couple days ago, and it's amazing. This is a picture of the sun. I don't know how they picked it up, but inside the sun, there's so much activity going on. What does that mean? It means something. It's doing something to us. I have no idea what, but I just saw the picture and I thought it was kind of great. And then lately we've noticed a lot of the solar activity. And then this picture, it's the planets. And the interesting thing, it doesn't show where the planets actually are. It just shows them going out there. Obviously, they're all in motion and they all take different amounts of time to go around the sun. And there are times that from the planet Earth, some of the other planets may appear to be going backwards. And that's not the case. It's just our perception from Earth that they're going backwards. And that's called a retrograde planet. And there's an interesting thing about the retrograde planets too. And I'll talk more about that in just a bit. Right now, we are at a crucial point, a critical point, and we're at the decadent end of a couple cycles. The Piscean age, which is a 2,100-year cycle, it started about the time of the end of the Roman Empire, about when Christ came. And we are already starting to go into the Aquarian age, which is a positive cycle. This is very good. At the same time, we're going to go through the photon belt, which is another 2,000 years of positive energy for us. So we do have good stuff coming in that sense. That bigger cycle, negative cycle, is a masculine, and it's decadent end once again. And we've noticed all the wars. People love to get into wars. Governments love to get into wars because they make money. It's about greed. Okay, those are the two cycles that are massive, and we're going through chaos because of the change of cycles. The other one on the right is a timeline. And if you notice at the top, the timeline turns clear. And we're at the end of that yellow section. And what that means is we're going into the fifth dimension. And there's a lot of stuff happening that people probably notice, but they don't know what it's about. It's all about going into the fifth dimension. And that's what we'll talk about quite a bit here.
That's a very interesting idea, the difference between a cycle and a timeline. That's very interesting, Alice.
Yes. Okay. This goes back to last year when I did the program about the retrograde planets. And the interesting thing is all these heavy duty planets are on the left side. And when we have retrograde planets, usually people are paying karmic debt from past life indiscretions or even in this life. And if you notice on the right-hand side, Mercury, communication, Mars, energy, the sun, the spark of God. And we have the good guys. This is my interpretation. We have the good guys having the energy of those planets that are not retrograde at all, and they're powerful. And we have on the left side, the retrograde planets. And this was all stuff going on behind the scenes about people that were the bad guys that were being brought down. And fascinating, totally fascinating. And then once that last planet went direct, which was in January of this year, things started surfacing much more. And so we're seeing more. If we get into news cycles that are not mainstream, we are seeing more of what's happening. And something, I'm just thinking of it now, and excuse my bird, he's going to spoil it. Something that I've noticed is Trump, one of the things he did was made sure that when people die from either being executed, they could appear to make it a natural death. And that's what we saw when old man Bush and McCain passed. McCain even had a tracking bracelet on his ankle. And so they were given the honor of being a normal death. And so that just told me a lot about what Trump was about, even though I didn't vote for him back then, but I watched. And that was really one of the good things. He was letting the bad guys go in a positive way. And this is good. And there's somebody else I just saw. No, he has COVID, and I don't know what's going to happen.
Bill Gates.
Gates, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now the moon nodes, and this is interesting. We all have different moon nodes depending on when we were born. The south node is where we grew in our last lifetime. The north node is where we're supposed to grow in this lifetime. And if we are growing towards our north node, then our vibration goes up. Is this part of moving from the third dimension towards the fifth dimension? Maybe. I like to think of it that way. But when you see the orbit of the moon crossing the sun orbit, that's where the moon nodes come from. So they're not planets in and of themselves or anything.
And that would be, your node would be in your house, right? So you'd be different for you?
It's everybody's is different.
Different, okay.
Depending on their chart.
It's where it crosses, I see. So
Yep.
that would tell you where you need to grow based on where the moon crosses over in your chart.
And destiny will put things in on your path to help you grow in that direction. And if you choose not to, oh, well, you will suffer for it. Back in my 20s, I was traveling the world. I lived in Hawaii. It was awesome. I loved my life. And my astrologer told me where I was supposed to be growing, and I walked out on her. I did not want to hear it because I was having a damn good time. And so 5 years later, I had the death experience and car accident, no fault of my own, going from Belvedere to Rockford on my parents' anniversary. And a car was hurrying to pass, and I was over to the side of the road already. And this car just slid along my car and pushed me down into a creek. And I had the death experience. I did not want to come back. It was heaven. And I was told in no uncertain terms, you have to go back. You have work to do. And I, oh no. And then of course my life changed big time. And because it did, a lot of fascinating things have come to me. Not the travel and fun like I was having, but very different, and things that made a difference in the world. And this was all good, totally good. And there's another thing about the moon nodes, interesting. That tells it very well.
But Alice, so that's, we all like to think we were having fun and having a good time before all the crazy happened. So is that an example of being the difference between a cycle and a timeline, is that we've all crossed over to a timeline? And that's why we're all experiencing this at the same time, because we all need to move on at the same time. Is that what's happening?
Well, we all need, everything is about growing. Yeah, we all have to move on. And if we're growing towards our north node, then that's the big part of it. If we don't consciously do it, then destiny will put things on your path to make you do it. And then, of course, when you hit the 49 to 51, we have Chiron return. If there's something you were supposed to learn in your life and you didn't, you get hit hard then. And then you have the rest of that 7-year cycle, 49 to 56, Scorpio cycle, where you will grow in that direction. And then you'll start making a difference in life after that. Or you won't grow, and then you'll get cancer and die or whatever. So it's all about growing. That's all life is about.
Alice, I'm trying to avoid destiny. Don't tell her where I live.
And this one, okay, once again, this is where all the planets are direct. It was the beginning of April. I think it started a little earlier, but all the planets are over there. This is interesting, very interesting. And wherever that cluster of planets is in your chart, you probably have a lot of activity going on there because they're all clumped together. And I was talking to Cheryl, and we're going to talk a bit about this on Monday night because she brings something else in that is probably very, very much like this.
Terrific.
So, cool. Okay, this neat stuff happening in this period. The alignment of these 4 planets and the moon, and this was spectacular. And the next picture, I should go ahead and finish reading through.
Disrupted sleep pattern, feeling drained, vivid dreams. I don't have the earring, disoriented. I love the divine intervention, Alice, because that keeps presenting itself in my life over and over again, that's the only answer in many situations.
True, true. And now the next one, I have friends all over the world, and that alignment shows up in many places in the world. I think the one on the left was either from Africa or Australia, and then these others were from other places. So everybody's seeing it. It's awesome.
We can literally see the alignments. When you see all those planets on one side, you can literally see it manifest in the sky. That's fascinating.
Yes. And then the magical month of April, once again, it goes back to the alignment and all the things that this alignment is doing to our life. It's awesome, totally awesome. I guess it's after we had all those retrograde planets, it took care of getting rid of the bad guys or setting the stage to get rid of them. And now this is good stuff for us because we were caught up in that retrograde stuff. But now it's all the good stuff. This is awesome. I love it.
So we can all take a big step forward. I like that.
Yes, yes. And once again, raising our vibration and going to a higher level, going towards the 5th dimension. This is awesome. You can read through that.
So we may be feeling, as we awaken, we may be feeling extra sensitive, having different awareness of situations, breaking free of illusions.
Yep.
And prophetic and vivid dreams. Awesome.
And the next one, and I forgot to mention this earlier when I had my first diagram from, her name is Nina Adolfson. And I love her diagrams because you can talk about it so people understand what's going on. And she's in, I believe it's Sweden or Norway, I can't remember. But she posts something every day, and she does have a reading with it so you can read what it all means. She's awesome. So if you want to add her to your probably Facebook, that's where I find her, please do so, because her readings are awesome for each day. Now, she does use some terms I don't even understand, but I think it has to do with where she's from or things about astrology that I haven't gotten into. And okay, now here is where we start seeing, that's April 5th, the moon's starting to move away from those planets. And moon is about emotions and feelings. So as the moon starts moving around, which it moves fast, it will trigger those planets. So you'll have emotional feelings about whatever's going on in the world. But this is okay because emotions are part of who we are. And this is something I saw not long ago, and it shows how long, down one more, it shows how long things were moving so slow. And then all of a sudden, at that one point, which is, I believe, where we are about now, things just go up fast. And this is because things are changing fast. And this is good, going into the fifth dimension, and it's happening quickly. And it's already yours. So we are there already, but more people have to wake up to understand this and realize this. And the solar flash, if you recall back in the beginning, that second picture, I believe that second picture was about the solar flash and stuff flashes going on inside the sun, also having impact on us.
And is this something that's going on now, or it's yet to come, or it's happening?
I believe, I don't know. I don't know for sure. I know that the sun is this close for about 2 years. Is this solar flash going to be going on that long? I'm not sure. It could. Now, this I have to explain because when I talked about this the other day, I was quickly told something. So I want to make it clear. There's mechanical things out there that measure the vibration of the earth. And some of this stuff may be real. Some of it may be because the mechanism that's measuring the vibration of the earth is not measuring it accurately. So you can take it whatever way you want.
Well, because you were to mention this was the vibration, but someone else mentioned it might be the Tesla towers, and then they mentioned the Schumann resonance, which not even that, I've heard of it, but I really don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Cosmic energy that exists naturally?
Well, the vibration does have a natural, the earth does have a natural vibration. But after what that gentleman told me the other day, I'm thinking some of this might be accurate, and some of it might not. So I don't put a lot of faith in this anymore. I used to.
It's accurate as a concept, but this might not be an accurate portrayal or image, recording, capturing it.
Yeah.
But there is definitely a vibration of the earth, you're saying. Yeah. So whether this is capturing it, we don't know for certain that it is.
We don't know. But they're kind of fun to look through and see, oh, we're really vibrating a lot.
There is energy.
It's fun to watch. So, and there we went for, it went up to 57 allegedly.
So who's recording these and where is it? It's being broadcast that you can find these
people post them. Like that's disclosurenews.it. So it's probably from Italy, I don't know. And then there was a day that it was out. And the mechanism that measured it may have been not working. I don't know. I have no clue. Or maybe it really happened. Who knows?
Maybe that's when they came and took Mr. Bill Gates away, Alice.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry.
And then also, see, now that I'm thinking is a machine or whatever's documenting the Schumann resonance. But who knows? Who knows? This one is interesting because, and I've seen this in a couple other places too, where the black holes out there are spitting out new planets like crazy. So what impact is all this having on us? Probably some.
Oh, this was quite interesting.
I love this one.
Yeah.
This is so cool because if we're in fear, our energetic circle is that small. And this is the way the bad guys want us. They want us in fear so that we don't have a lot of vibration going on out there. But if we go to a love mode, the vibration is much bigger, and it's just our life is a lot better. So you can't let the stuff you're seeing, the bad guy stuff, the mainstream media stuff, you can't let it get to you and put you in fear. And if you're thinking about going towards your moon north node, you won't let this put you in fear. You'll realize it's okay, because the bad guys are coming down. And we're slowly seeing that now. They can't hide it much longer. A lot are coming down.
Well, it's interesting too, because you can see that, you could be in tune with your vibration, but it might be a very small vibration compared to what your capacity is. You just might not be aware, myself included, like what our capacity is, because maybe we haven't experienced it yet.
Exactly.
Very interesting.
And I think there have been people through the centuries that do feel that, because I think on one of my programs I had quotes from the time of Plato, and that some of these people were way beyond their time, way beyond. And the things they said back then can be applied now. So we don't know where people are. We have no clue. So it's good not to judge, because we really don't know. And then this one I like. It's very simple. Tells about stuff happening to us because of our eye opening.
And we've all experienced a lot of these things. We've all had this experience where we think about somebody and then they call us.
Yep.
And we think about things happening before they happen, kind of like a dream. And then if we're more intentional, we can actually attract the miracles to us every day. And then the things that seem bad at first seem to have unexpected consequences later on.
Exactly.
Things are not always what they appear to be.
No. Back when I was going through my Chiron return, I didn't know if I was going to make it. I didn't know if there was something I was supposed to learn, and I hadn't. And I had like a half hour to kill before I had to be someplace. And so I stopped in a tile and carpet store. I didn't need tile or carpet. And what possessed me to stop there, I have no idea. So I looked at the tile, I looked at the carpet, and then I got into a conversation with the woman behind the counter, who happened to be from Hawaii. And I was going to be going to Hawaii like within a week or two. And she said, my cousin is in Hawaii. You might look him up. And my cousin, her cousin's name was Wally Naope. And it was his cousin that started traveling the world teaching about hula and what it meant. But I went over there and I met him. And his real Hawaiian name was Aliki Onomea Aloha. And he's a shaman. He would never call himself that. But I'm wondering if he's one of those souls that is not of this world. And I think he's either in a nursing home now, because I can't get a hold of him, and his phone's been disconnected. But he told me, whenever I see a cardinal out at my bird feeder, because right now I'm looking out on my deck now. I love this position because I see all these cardinals and doves and that. But there's this one cardinal that's bigger, and he'll come and he'll sit here and he'll just look at me. And I'm thinking, Wally, is that you? Because he said he would come to visit me. And when I see a cardinal, that's him. And so that it's just a pleasant experience. So this goes back 20 years, 22 years, that I just happened to run into that woman from Hawaii, and just happened to run into Wally, and it changed my life immensely. So how many things like that are people going through that are making a difference in their life? It's awesome. And I know lately I think of somebody, and then all that I haven't seen in a while, and I run into him in the grocery store. It's totally amazing. And I think this is about going into the fifth dimension. I think it's like that timeline that showed at about this point, everything is going upward. I love it. I love the time we're in. And we all have a purpose right now. So I'm sorry, I guess I got off track a bit.
No, you're giving a good example from your life and experience, Alice. Those are the best examples people can give.
So I love this one where the moon is starting to move away from all the planets. Now also April 30th, the next one, and I did see a picture of it. I didn't save it because once again, between the two computers, I couldn't save it, but it was phenomenal. But I think it was like in Argentina or someplace south in the Southern Hemisphere.
Yeah,
The picture was awesome. And if I do find it, I will put it in here.
that's so interesting about the heightened opportunities and the powerful wish granting. Because I'm not sure if we're in Ramadan, but I know in Ramadan they have the day of power, which is apparently they don't really know when it is. It's a day where your prayers are amplified. That's a very interesting idea.
We are out of Ramadan now.
Are we out of Ramadan?
Yeah, yep, yep. I love this one. Show me your new vibration and I will show you miracles. I thought I had a miracle. I still may have, but it could have been a scam too. And I don't know if I'm just dealing with the scam or if it's something that's really happening.
Well,
So we have to be careful.
we have to use discernment and intuition, Alice.
I love this one too. It's all in our mind. It's all in that pineal gland.
Yes.
And it's about clearing it out and staying away from the chemicals. The healthy end of my cookbook, the first 2 pages are about things to stay away from. And basically it's the middle of the grocery store with all the processed stuff, with all the chemicals in.
Yeah.
But it has a lot of just good pointers on just going towards a healthier lifestyle. When I was working on that part, and it took about a year, and I wasn't thinking about dieting, but I lost 25 pounds just thinking about putting that part of the book together.
And you mentioned that the pineal gland is in the center of our brain.
Yes,
Still there. We still have one, right?
we do. We just have to decalcify it and stop doing the chemicals and be out in the sun. And I love this one because when I've done charts for a lot of the people in the Connecting Consciousness group, they have these aspects that you won't find them in an astrology book, but there's certain aspects that people will have if they are here to make a difference in the world. And almost everyone I did a chart on in your group had that. Here to make a difference in the world. And that is what Connecting Consciousness is all about. Okay, so with people like this, we come into this world with that expression on our face. It's like, here again, I thought I learned everything. Like, why am I here? It's because you're here to do work. And just a couple aspects that haven't happened for a long time, happening now.
Oh, wow. American Revolution.
Yeah, yeah. So where are we going from here? What kind of government or what kind of change in government will we have?
And you mentioned using discernment and being open, being aware of a scam. Sometimes this can be at the same time. You can be experiencing fear and transformation at the same time.
You know, it put me in touch with somebody at my bank that I needed to be in touch with. I didn't know it. So if it was a scam, there was a good thing to it. I love this picture.
Yes, we hope the awakening. Well, I think we do know. I think it's safe to say because we all have experienced this where we've run into people that we've known, for a long time, we never really connected with until in the last 2 years. And I think so we know something's happening and people are waking up at some level, ourselves included.
And it shows how quickly the moon is moving through the other side and being opposition to these planets. And this is why people are emotional, and they want to see something happen now, and they want to feel something better. It's because this moon is in opposition to all these planets. It does go quickly. This was March 14th, and I believe by the end of March, it was.
Oh yeah, altogether different location.
How quickly? Yes, yes. How quickly? And then it's back. We don't know where we're going. We just know it can be very good. Yep.
Awesome, Alice. Well, that was an amazing overview of where we've been, where we are, and where we're going. It's looking very good. I liked all the positive vibrations.
Thank you. We all need to find that.
We do.
And we are.
We do need positive vibrations, and then and also terrific resources. So Alice, you are available to create charts for people or to interpret their astrological sign. Is that correct?
Yeah. And I call it soul path astrology because it is our soul's journey. The moon node, where your retrograde planets are. I do the regular astrology in the reading, but these are the things I focus on because it's about growing.
Excellent. Well, and then part of growing is we need to leave some of these things behind. And you mentioned you showed the moon like going around and it's hitting all these things and these feelings, but they're somewhat fleeting, aren't they? So maybe we shouldn't invest so much time trying to meet all those needs and address all the feelings, because we'll probably be experiencing something new soon. So I guess that's the old, this too shall pass. Some of these issues, even though it seems very important to us right now, in the bigger picture might be a small issue tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that's,
and the other thing that I do when I do readings, I do astrocartography. So I put the planetary lines on a world map, and I tell people, oh, you have this line going through here or there or whatever. And they will almost always say, oh, I've always wondered about that place. And I'm sensing that they've lived in these places in past lives because they resonate with them.
yes.
And it's funny because there's several people that have lines going through the big island of Hawaii. And that's where I lived in a past life. And people come together because their souls knew each other from before. And so when I tell people they've probably lived in Hawaii, and that's probably where we knew each other before, because God has it all planned out this way. And we're just discovering these things now. And it's exciting. It's an exciting time to be in, although the world looks crazy, but things are changing. They really are.
Yes, well, I like one of our members used the term, they said, instead of thinking of it as a second half of your life, just the next chapter, the next part of your life. And that really can be whatever it needs to be, whatever we are open to it being. Yes. And we can just leave some of these things. We don't have to be defined by our past. We can just be defined by what's yet to come. Alice, we'll include your contact information in the description of the video so that people can contact you if they'd like. And then, of course, you're one of our regular participants on our Saturday statewide Connecting Consciousness call. And we really look forward to seeing you again very, very soon. Thank you so much for sharing it with us today.
And thank you. Thank you for recording it, because I know a lot of people want to see what Connecting Consciousness is about.
Thank you, Alice.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.